Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas, and today is episode 3 of our twin fin pool party at BSR Waco Surf. This is gonna be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. So headed to BSR, we had 8 sessions booked on the public advanced wave. So that's given each board 2 sessions, and I surfed each board consecutively, giving me time to not only get used to the pool, but getting used to the board and dialing in fins. So each session, you'll ride 30 minutes on the right and then 30 minutes on the left, giving you roughly 20 to 30 waves per session. So I started on the Haydenshapes twin fin prototype, right in the HP twins. Check out these waves. Now that we've seen a few waves, this board had its moments. I want to start with the wave first at BSR. Wave 1, Wave 2, and Wave 3 are all a little bit different, but I want to liken those waves to a hollow, punchy little beach break. So coming off the bottom, you get into the lip real quick and the transition's real tight. So the length of the board matters. It's also about how quick the board comes off the bottom and gets into that lip. And so far, after riding these boards and the Fishbeard, this high performance twin fin board category, this gets into the lip and surfs the pool the best that I've experienced so far. Now, Wave 1, the reason it's different is because for me, when I take off on the right and on the left, it's really steep. And it looks like it's gonna barrel the whole time. You can come off the bottom and get into the lip and hit it 3 to 4 times if you're surfing it with good timing and get the best turns on Wave 1. Now, Wave 2 and Wave 3 are a little bit more similar, but Wave 2 kind of has a tight little pocket. And so on takeoff, I actually want to come in a little bit deeper and trying, if I want to go vertical, I have to come in from behind because the lip and the angle of the lip is really small. So what I was trying to do in Waves 2 and 3 was, because this twin fin's so fast, is maybe not go for the first vertical turn every time, but go out into the wave face and start a roundhouse and rebound off the whitewater. Now, I mentioned the speed that these twin fins are carrying. I never thought to do that riding a thruster. I never felt like I could get out into the wave face and come back and hit the rebound with enough speed without getting caught behind in the whitewash. So I started doing that on the Haydenshapes. And the reason I talk about it is this board was fast in transition. So I'm coming off the bottom, getting into the pocket real quick. It was doing that. Maybe not as good as flow as I'd liked on Wave 1, just trying to adjust my feet. But in Wave 2 and Wave 3, when I was doing the roundhouse cutback, I felt like it had that little extra pivot on the rebound. And like I said, the board has to be quick, not only in the wave face, but in the transition coming back and hitting that lip, then to come right off the bottom and get right back in the lip again without getting hung up or stuck behind the whitewash. And I felt like this board was doing it good with the HP twins, and I never switched fins because I felt like I was starting to gel with it. Now, one of the things I will say that I was struggling with is the flow top to bottom. I felt like at times I'd get 2 or 3 good turns, or I'd get 2 good turns and then the third turn, it would just do something weird. Now, I didn't tell you guys why I wanted to ride this board first. The first thing that happened to me when the board came in, before I had even ridden it, is I noticed that this polyurethane foam felt heavy. So the glass, they glassed it heavy, and I talked to Hayden before I even rode it. I said, Hayden, the board feels heavy. And he said, yeah, it was a mistake. Their glasser glassed it with a 6-ounce glass, and it came out heavy. But there was no time to reshape and send another board from Australia. So I took this one to the pool and rode this one first on purpose. Why? This PU poly is coming in at 4.80 pounds. This one's coming in at 5.80 pounds. So the whole pound heavier than this board. Now, I also want to mention that when a board has a heavier glass job, not only does it take longer for me to come off the bottom and put it where I want, it takes more effort out of me, number one. Number two, the board is not flexing the same. So when I go to the bottom on a bottom turn with this board, it's not loading, so flexing, and then giving me that rebound I'm looking for to get up into the lip. So I'm actually applying more of myself to get that bottom turn and top turn and carry that momentum projection on this board compared to the rest. I started with this board first because I figured if I went from the heaviest board to the lightest board, it would be easier for me to give good solid feedback on this particular model. So that was one of the things about the Haydenshape that I struggled with the most. The weight, it didn't have that pop and projection. And then the other thing I felt like it had pretty good pivot, but it could use a little bit more drive. So when I'm talking drive, I'm coming into my bottom turn and I want this board to come squirt with speed out of that turn. And every time I put this board on rail is I wanted to give me more speed. Now, I really liked how the board had good hold. And when I talk about hold, I'm talking about riding a twin fin. Because there's no center fin here, I have nothing to push off of on like a stabilizer or that center thruster fin. So for me, twin fins, in my mind, if you don't have the right fin in it, it feels like it's gonna slide out on every turn. And these boards are going so quick and they're getting into the lip real fast, I've gotta have the confidence that the board's gonna hold, and I had that. So the pivot's there, the drive could be a little bit better, and what I really think was happening on that rebound on wave 2 and 3 that I kept wanting to perfect and get better at is this little side cut right here seemed to keep the board nice and loose and give it that little extra pivot in the pocket. Now the next board I got on the Sharpeye. I started with the HP Twins in the first session, then swapped out for the HP KEELS. Check out these clips. Now that we've seen a few waves on the Sharpeye, it did not disappoint. Both front side and back side, didn't matter which wave I was riding, I really felt like I could put this board where I wanted to, both front side and back side, get up into the lip quick with no hesitation off the bottom, so it had great flow. Now in the first session, starting with the HP Twins, there was some explosive turns there. I felt like the board was pivoting really well, and I wanted a little bit more drive. So in session 2, I switched to the HP KEELS. Now, why would this fin give me more drive? Let me just give you a visual. If I put the fin in the box, this fin has a bigger base. So it's gonna go past the shaper's dot back here on the fin box quite a bit more. And that's gonna give me more drive to push off of because the base of the fin is wider. Now, the other thing to consider is it's got more surface area in the middle of the fin, even going in here to the tip. And that's also, that surface area is gonna offer more resistance. What I was looking for was more drive off the bottom and on my rail turns. And I achieved that with the HP KEELS. And when you look at the footage from the HP Twins, I can definitely see a quicker pivot, especially on the roundhouse, where this fin's allowing a little bit more quickness from rail to rail. However, I'm gonna lose a little bit of control there. And I want drive and pivot, and I felt like I was getting the best of both on the HP keel. Now, with that being said, what kind of adjustment or what didn't I like about the Sharpeye? I feel like Marcio and Kanoa are real close to this board being the one. And the reason I say that is because when I put the HP keels, I can't believe the high performance turns that this board's doing with the keel fin in it. So when I look at the footage, and I was talking to Marcio, that's the keel fin in the board. So it's got incredible pivot, and with the right fin, it's gonna give us the drive. So talking to Marcio, I said, Marcio, the footage looks good, the board felt incredible. If we could get a little bit more drive, now this is me talking as a surfer, not as a shaper. Maybe we can move the fin boxes back a little. And I explained why I said that to him, because this fin has a wider base compared to this one. So just moving the base back a little bit gave me that drive, that hold, that pivot, and excellent control. So Marcio, this board's incredible. I think the changes that you and Kanoa need to make are subtle. Now, my third session, I was excited to get on the Aipa prototype twin fin because it's EPS epoxy. I started with the HB keels, then I switched in session 2 to the HB twins. Check out these waves. Now that we've seen a few waves on the Aipa, it's feeling light, quick, and snappy, and this board had its moments. Remember, this is EPS epoxy. It's a bit lighter, coming in at 4.25 pounds, and this construction offers that extra pop and projection off the bottom, getting me into the lip quicker with less effort compared to the PU poly boards. Now, after looking at the footage and surfing it in both sessions, I felt like I surfed it better front side than I did backside. One of the things I liked about the board front side is the overall performance. It's quick into the lip, it's quick in transition, rebounding off the white water, and the board's pivoting fast. I also like how much water this board's throwing off each turn front side. Now backside, I felt like I struggled. Both with the HP keels and the HP twins, really just trying to tone down the pivot. it's getting into the lip so quick that I never felt like I had good control and I didn't have good flow. And for me, I have more flow backside than I have front side. One thing I did notice, and this happened with the Sharpeye, is that the HP keels felt better underfoot compared to the HP Twins. Why? That wide base and more surface area is offering more drive, stability, and control. So when I got on the phone with Akila, that's what I told him. I said, look, the board's pivoting fast. It has that high performance flair to it. I liked it better front side, but this board could use a little bit more drive. One of the things I want for you guys and for myself is that when I put the board on rail is that it's squirting with speed. And what I feel like is happening is when I put it on rail, it's taking me into the lip really quick. So quick that I'm reacting the whole time instead of responding and surfing with the board. So that's my feedback on the Aipa in the pool, is it's got that performance flare and it's got good pivot, but it needs a bit more drive. Now the last 2 sessions were on the Rusty, right in the HP Twins. Check out these waves. Now that we've seen a few waves on the Rusty, this is a stringered EPS epoxy, lightest board I've ridden to date, coming in at 4.05 pounds. So it's light, it's quick, it's got that pop and projection getting into the lip quick. One of the things I noticed about the Rusty compared to the other 3 prototypes is that it's the most polished. And what do I mean by that? Top to bottom, front side and back side, it had great drive, it was the smoothest and had the best flow. I ran the HP Twins in this board the entire time. It was a great combination. When I talk about the drive, that means the fins are working the way I want them to, and it's offering that resistance, and I'm pushing and the board squirting with speed. I would expect that from the Rusty because it's in the Rusty board lineup for the last 4 to 5 years. Here we're taking new designs that are good and we want to make them better. One of the things I noticed about the Rusty that was different than these 3 boards, yeah, it had more drive, but it also wanted to project down the line more. So when I'd come off the bottom, it wouldn't want to come as vertical in the pocket as these 3 boards. So from my perspective, if you want to surf in the pocket, these boards are offering more pivot. They're a bit more radical. This board wants to project down the line and surf a little bit more diagonal. Now, every time I put it on rail, the Rusty would squirt with speed, able to come back, hit the whitewash. It still had that quickness in transition, which I really liked. But if I'm going to offer feedback and keep this all super real, I would say this board's excellent, but how do we take it to the next level? I think we need to add a little bit more pivot. So it would be just the opposite of these boards, and I probably wouldn't even have noticed that unless I was riding all these different boards to offer feedback to them, my thoughts to Rusty in the pool. What an excellent board. Let's add a little bit more pivot and make it even better. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 3 of the Twin Fin Pool Party. Each board had their moments, but if I had to choose one, the winner's the Sharpeye Twin Fin prototype. It suits my style of surfing. I like it. It's a bit more radical and it's drawing excellent lines. Some minor changes to give it more drive would be ideal. Now we are going to take each of these boards out for thorough testing in the ocean and offer an episode 4. Look, if you like the show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.